My name is Stephen Hall. I am Director of Business Development for the Decisive Driver family of companies. We have 11 locations in Oklahoma. We are a bilingual driving school. Our CEO had actually met with TeamFicient to get the initial understanding, but then we scheduled a Google Meet that we were all part of where it was outlined what services TeamFicient could offer. We staff people from Latin America primarily, and so we knew coming up at that season that we were going to have a number of our staff that were traveling to Mexico and other countries in Central and South America, and we were going to have a lack of staff. And so that was actually one of the things that led us to make the decision. But we also realized that with how busy some of our offices could get, we needed to expand our ability to answer the phone. We were having a tremendous amount of voicemails, in some cases nearly 100 voicemails a day that were left on our phone system, and it would be the next day or longer before we could get back to them. So our biggest pain point that we were trying to address was to be able to get the phones answered live when the phones were ringing. If there was a voicemail, that it would be a very small number and that we'd be able to get to them the same day. We have 11 offices, and so even our local staffs aren't in the same location as our other local staff. And so for us, it's no different working with TeamFicient on a Google Meet than it is somebody from location A to location B. So it's really easy to integrate, and it's been super efficient. It's not just about answering the phone. However, let me go back to one point. As the Director of Business Development, part of my role was to train the TeamFicient staff how we want the phones answered, but also how to drive everyone down the sales funnel to the point of making a decision on that first call. So what we would call a first call close. And so our sales, the month that we onboarded them after initial training, when they went, answering the phones full time, really without assistance, our sales went up 30% in that first month, and they've maintained that essential percentage year over year, is around 25 to 35% month after month. So it's been super helpful in that regard, but we were able to release them just to do what we need them to do super quick. 2 points on that. One, the owner of TeamFicient was the owner of a driving school for 13 years. And so when the TeamFicient employees came to us and were ready to go to work, they already had the understanding of how a driving school operates. So it was a huge win for us in our space, but also they were already prepared to use our software, which was a really big deal. When I hire somebody locally, it takes me 2 or 3 months to really get them acclimated, how to handle the phone calls and the software. And then going back to our voicemail problem, we went instantly from having 75 to 100 voicemails a day left to having about 10 to 15, and all those voicemails are now handled the day that those voicemails are left. We have no overnight voicemails, or very few the next morning, that weren't handled the day before. We onboarded initially 2 agents and their supervisor. We've now added a third one, and so one of the things that we were wanting to do, because we also, as a driving school, we also administer our state road test, and we can do that on the weekends. And so one of the things that we wanted to do was to be able to have the phones answered 7 days a week. And so if there was an issue with somebody scheduling a test or something on the weekend, that we had the staff, at least on the phone, to be able to handle that. And then we're also exploring, because we are bilingual and we teach the classes primarily in English and have them translated in Spanish on the fly, and we're exploring actually using TeamFicient to do that translation as opposed to a live translator in the building. So there's a lot of things that you can look at when you bring on TeamFicient. And the previous question, which I realized I really didn't answer, but now not only are they answering the phone and handling sales, but I have them doing critical tasks that I can assign and take off of my local staff, because they've got people coming in and out of the office all day, every day. And so I can give my agents at TeamFicient some of these tasks that are critical, that are time sensitive, and they simply knock them out very efficiently, immediately, and without error.